to another episode of the War Infinite Panels. I'm joined by my co-host Sarah.
Yo,
We're living the dream.
living a dream.
We survived Anime NYC with my ear infection and God knows how much cold.
Yeah, that's never fun. Nobody likes to go to a con sick.
Yeah, and Sarah survived. Stupid people.
Yeah, just the everyday struggle,
Yeah, it's almost it's a new everyday struggle.
basically.
But honestly, I had a good time at con. It was really enjoyable. My only regret was I wanted to buy more manga.
My only regret was not getting enough sleep.
Not getting that's
That
true.
was just number one.
But this podcast, we have tons of things for you, and we're going to lead off with the biggest thing that happened. If you guys didn't know, recently, I think sometime last month in November 2018, the great one Stan Lee passed away.
Yep.
And as many people mourn his death through posting photos they had with him on Facebook, talking how they were personally, posting letters they had with creators to everyone who knew him, and out of freaking nowhere, Bill fucking Maher, Rated M Podcast now, goes up and has delicious arguments about Stan Lee's legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very disgusting. And Sarah can highlight some of the points of his arguments, if you can.
I don't want to call it an argument so much as a child screaming into the void, hoping to be taken seriously. Which no one who knows who Bill Maher is should ever take Bill Maher seriously. Basically, he had essentially argued that the only people who were mourning Stan Lee's death were man babies who had never grown up and still considered comics to be sort of high art, which, of course, has a number of problems. One, assuming that comic book fans are all male, which is bullshit. Assuming that comic book fans are all adults, also bullshit. And, this idea that, like, comics get to be well written or mean anything or be artistic. Anybody who is a comic book fan of any nature, be they casual or lifelong, knows that it's just not the case.
Yeah. And he pretty much said that I read comics back when the Bill Hardy Boys, pulp comics, they're not supposed to be like this. All he did was inspire people to watch movies. And like, first of all, Rated M Podcast, fuck you. It's like, seriously. It's like, you don't respect the art. And then when people came back at him, this is before Stan Lee's private company, Power Entertainment. People came back and he's like, well, I don't read comics. It's like, then why did you make your point to begin with? You just wanted to spit on someone's grave. That was his whole thing.
Well, he said, according to him, well, he wasn't critiquing Stan Lee. He was critiquing people who cared about Stan Lee's death, which is even worse somehow. You're like, okay, so you don't respect the people who enjoyed this man's work, but then you are saying something about the man who passed away. It's ridiculous. Bill Maher is one of those political talking heads who is so ridiculous in how absolutely stupid he is. Because, say what you want about Megyn Kelly or Rachel Maddow, like, they have their sticking points. But Bill Maher is just all over the goddamn map. I first stopped listening to him entirely when he started saying these incredibly Islamophobic things.
Yeah, and the messed up part is, like, I feel like he's just a Katarian. He will take whatever just to make himself special.
Oh,
and
sure.
It's stupid because I'm quoting him right now. But quote, I am agnostic of Stan Lee. I don't even read comic books. I didn't even read them when I was a child. And I'm going and like, then why are you saying about this? And two, comic books as an art form, as you pointed out, we have awards. Will Eisner exists. There are people who have done many great things in the graphic narrative that is just can only be done in this format. I mean, I think one of the best crime stories, even if you want, I'm a guy who loves crime TV and things. The best crime stories of all time, in my opinion, have been in the graphic narrative. Guys, off recommendation, read Criminal by Brubaker and Sean Phillips. And you can tell me that entire series is slightly better than any other crime show you watch in your entire life.
Yeah, no. And I mean, it's also just, and even if it was, like, let's put aside that, like, comics, like any art form, have their highs and their lows.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Frankly,
Yeah.
like, this man brought joy to people's lives. Whether it's, considered high art or not, like, who cares? He made people happy. Who does Bill Maher make happy? No one.
Exactly. That's the thing about it. Like, all he does is, like, I think, wasn't it one time he did a documentary where he just ran around trying to prove he's smarter than people?
Yeah, that was the religion one.
Yeah, that was. I remember seeing that on HBO one time, and I turned it off. I was like, dude, who cares? And I know many. The worst part is just like it kind of brought that stereotype of people who are atheists or assholes. It's like I met people who are atheists who don't care. I'm
I
kind of
am.
religious, and I'm like I don't even think about it as much as I don't care. Just
Yeah.
don't be an asshole. That's just the rule.
I'm an atheist, like hardcore, and
Oh,
it's yeah. I mean,
science be you. Science be.
clearly, I am I'm an asshole.
Yeah,
No, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, am I religious and faithful? No, but do I understand that people get something from it? It makes them happy. If it makes them feel connected, absolutely. And I'm not going to shit on that. It's not my
exactly.
place to do so.
Exactly, and it's the thing that if you guys ever look up the arguments, he did this out of a like it's the point, like he just did it
Yeah.
out of a spiteness, and it's very terrible because Stan Lee, regardless if you look at his legacy, he brought people's lives, and when people try to say his things, oh he screwed over Wally Wood or he did this XX, because those are small, not small things. Those are you have to look into more detail about that. The point of the matter is that Stan Lee brought comics to the mainstream form as a business. He brought this industry to people, and it became a successful part of people's lives culturally, and it has built up over he did the 60s, like 5 decades, and it's become mainstream. And that is a dream of anybody who creates anything.
Yep. I mean, frankly, when you have a trailblazer like Stan Lee who just pushes the medium forward in such a way, sure, he had his problems. I mean, but everybody does. No legacy is clean.
Yeah.
As I'm sure we're hearing, with the death of George Bush Sr., no legacy is clean. But the fact that Stan Lee basically made comics or played a huge part in what comics are today is not something that can be overlooked. And again, he meant a lot to a lot of people. He was very invested in Marvel, in his fans, in the stories he created, and it just doesn't get better, when you're an artist or a writer or any kind of creative, to have that sort of ability to connect with the people who love your work and with your work in general.
Basically, that's the truth about it. And the thing is, like, the best way to describe it is that Stan Lee stepped down from Marvel, I want to say, a while back. And I have a letter, an old letter from Stan Lee. I'm going to read it to you guys if you guys have time to check it. And it starts with this. Don't cry for me, true believers. You know I never left you. I still love comics and movies also. I kept my promise, and so did Mama. Okay, that's it. You suffered enough. It's time to go to your super stress shooter and his bullpen bandits. So till the Silver Surfer buys a fright wig, I leave you with this. Sly and Sobering Thought, Excelsior, Stan. And that was when during the 80s, stepped down when Jim Shooter took over the industry with his methodology, changed Marvel. But that was the thing. He never really left comics. That's the thing. That's the thing I always loved about Stan through his life. Yeah, he's no longer a writer or artist he was, but he never really left the medium. And that's a really great way to leave your legacy. Like, people remember him more than his comics.
Yeah.
But also, seriously, if you get anything from this, guys, fuck Bill Maher.
Yeah, fuck Bill Maher. But, now we move from one legend's death to another legend's death. Some of you might have also heard that SpongeBob creator Steven Hillenberg also died last month.
Yeah, that was real brutal because he was 57 and he was diagnosed with ALS, which he was diagnosed with ALS at March 2017, and I was unaware that he had ALS. I knew he stepped away from the show a long time ago, and I remember SpongeBob during my middle school year and maybe my early years of college, and that's about it. I guess it was around when he made the first movie with David Hasselhoff is shooting SpongeBob off his chest.
Oh my God. Yes. Also, we should clarify in case somebody doesn't know. When you say ALS, you mean ALS, which is amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, not Alzheimer's.
No, not Alzheimer's. No. ALS. Yes. ALS. No.
Yeah. And it is truly sad because it is a neurodegenerative disease, which basically means that he sort of slowly lost control. And he was very young when he got it. It is a very, very terrible disease. But died being surrounded by loved ones, which is all you can really ask for. And he left such a legacy. I mean, it's sort of hard to imagine a world pre-SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Like, I think SpongeBob, I remember I must have still been in elementary school when SpongeBob came out, like late elementary school. and it's still going. It is a legacy that continues. It's got a musical, it's got movies, it's been dubbed into several hundred languages around the world.
It's memes.
It has so many memes. I mean, it's sort of infected the entire cultural miasma of our generations, because technically I think Matt and I, you are of different generations.
Yeah, I was around during before the first movie came out. When I tried watching new SpongeBob, I don't really kind of get it, because now Plankton Robot Life is a person, and he's more pathetic as a villain he used to be. And I'm like, I don't remember Plankton being this pathetic. I know he was pathetic, but this is the new level of pathetic.
Mm.
I mean, in the sense of like, wow, your plans are stupider than I remember them to be.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just the nature of things. Like, that kind of stuff happens. People move on from projects, and he had his life to live, and then unfortunately had this diagnosis, which was just ridiculously sad, frankly.
Right.
But you know how it is.
But as much like Stan, his legacy will live on forever, because people, regardless, like I from an earlier time watched SpongeBob. I always remember SpongeBob was a good show. It's not like I have nothing against new SpongeBob. I just don't watch it, whatever. But I still enjoy it. I still think it's a great show, and I recommend people to watch it once or twice. I love the SpongeBob memes though. Those memes are so good.
Absolutely. And it is sad, because it does feel a little bit like the end of an era when someone like this dies. I mean, same with Stan, but unfortunately, all we can do is honor their legacies and keep them in our cultural memories, and enjoy the things that they loved making.
Right, and don't shitpost their ideas. Like, oh, Hillenberg stopped being funny when he started making poop jokes. I'm like, you know what? Are you really gonna be that guy right now?
Yeah, they are going to be that guy right now. They're going to be that guy forever, basically. They're not going to be that guy right now. They're going to be that guy forever and always.
Hashtag 2018 that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously though, oh man, it's a real bummer, because at least for both sides, in Hillenberg's perspective, it's a bummer because there were adults. Like, I remember I had this teacher, I forgot his name, in middle school. I feel like a bum. He would legitimately quote SpongeBob jokes to us last night we didn't get, and told that it was meant for adults. And we didn't know what he was talking about. And then I watched SpongeBob, watch those episodes now. Oh, those were adult jokes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, such a good time. Such a good time.
Like Mrs. Puff, how she would hyperventilate about the bad kids in her class. He's like, and we never get that. We thought she was crazy. Like, yeah, I like Mrs. Puff right now. That was my history teacher, because we didn't understand what he was talking about. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean the Native Americans were on America first? We're Americans. Like, oh god, you kids.
Oh, you children. Blessed be thy hearts, except not really, except no.
No, not today.
I mean, you can just shout into a crowd of 20-somethings, I'm ready, I'm ready. Everyone's gonna get that
for me money.
Chocolate!
Exactly.
Chocolate!
Oh, man.
But speaking yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was going to mention, like, how if you watch SpongeBob now, Squidward's your hero.
Squidward is all of us. Oh, man. But speaking of things coming to an end, I know I'm just transitioning left and right here. Some of you might have heard Daredevil has joined the ranks of Luke Cage and Iron Fist as being yet another Marvel show canceled by Netflix.
Yeah, that's just, and the worst part is, like, when Iron Fist got canceled, yeah, that show was like already like sinking.
It was garbage.
Luke Cage got canceled because the numbers from season 1 and season 2 differ so many. It's like, yeah, I can see that reasoning. It's not, I don't agree with it, but I can see it.
Yep, but
it's like, Daredevil's successful.
And the third season is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, season 2 was garbage, but listen, growing pains.
To be fair, though, as a Daredevil fan, any arc that deals with the Hand and Elektra, most of the Hands, is not really that good, because the Hand are not really that great of villains.
Yeah, no, there's just any sort of amorphous, organization hiding in the shadows is just a bunch of bullshit.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
But, it definitely looks like now the push is really happening for these shows to go back to Marvel when they make the Disney Plus. I mean, that's that's really like the prevailing theory, and it's kind of hard to imagine what else it could be.
Yeah, it also doesn't look good because in the sense of for these Marvel properties, it's because they're high in popularity and people still talking about it, buzzing about it. And when you make your new streaming service, it would at worst it takes let's say 2 to 3 years. How are you gonna convince your fan base that's on Netflix to just watch able to watch it? And the production would be completely different. Like, we, I mean, maybe you could be more about this, Sarah. Does Disney have good practice of producing adult content shows? I mean, I know Disney create kid shows and live action shows for children and teenagers, but adult level stuff.
I mean, Disney as a company, I think, specializes in the kind of brand that far reaches. So what they're not making adult content in the sense that like they're not specifically gearing stories for adults, they're gearing it for everyone, right? So say if you look at something like Coco or I mean any Disney movie really, the idea is not to not to shit on DreamWorks and Illumination, but it's not to make jokes where there are haha jokes, wink wink, nudge nudge for the adults, and the rest is for the kids. Disney really specializes in building stories and building humor in such a way that appeals to everybody. Now, there's no way you can make a child-friendly Daredevil, or Jessica Jones, or Luke Cage for the most part, but I do have faith in them that they'll be able to make something that everybody's going to be able to enjoy. I truly believe that because they have done really well in sort of the older teen market. And, they do sort of, I mean, I don't know about you, but I went to see Coco and I cried.
Oh, I've seen Coco cry. Hell, I seen Wreck-It Ralph recently. I was like, that's a pretty good movie. Even though it kind of, I feel like Disney has a box of themes they use. They just know how to modernize it in some aspects. That's a different argument for me all the time. But it's like, it was good. My only thing though, I feel like in the case of Daredevil, like you mentioned Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, there was no way you could soften this down for other people.
Ooh. No, and the thing is, I don't think, I mean, in the same way that, like, Disney's not trying to fuck too much with Star Wars, like, it's not trying, it's letting Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm make most of the big narrative decisions. I think they'll do the same with these shows. And actually, I was just thinking about it now, I wonder if they're going to pull Runaways from Hulu.
Oh, yeah.
Because the second season of that is about to come out.
I have yet to see Runaways on Hulu. I love the original Runaways by Brian K. Vaughan and Alfonso in the 2000s.
Yep, but I like it. It's a good show.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
Yeah, I have yet to see it.
Yeah, I cannot recommend it highly enough. But, yeah. So I trust them that once Disney Plus gets running, and if they are interested, because we're making the assumption that we'll see these characters again. That's not necessarily true. They might be like, this franchise is like, if since Iron Fist sort of failed kind of catastrophically, they might say that the whole like Defenders / Heroes for Hire, like they might just be like, this whole thing is a fucking mess, and we're not going to touch it anymore.
Oh,
I mean,
it's believable, but at the same but then you'll have like I said, a very limited urban verse. You want to call it that?
Mm-hmm.
It'll just be Jessica Jones and Daredevil.
No, but that's what I mean though. Like they're just going to literally, because Iron Fist didn't work, they're just going to be like, we're not going to do any of them. We're not going to do Daredevil, Jessica, Luke, Iron Fist, none of it.
The entire Okay, yeah, I see.
And then maybe like instead of trying to explain away why Iron Fist doesn't get a solo series or like Iron Fist isn't around, they're just not going to do it. Which would not, I mean, in a sense that would suck because first of all, I think Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones is just the best casting ever. It's just perfect. But that would give us room to explore other team-ups and other characters who could get solo series. Cough, cough, Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel, and Unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
Oh, God.
Already have a TV show. Y'all could just live action that shit.
Yeah. Oh, God. Cough, She-Hulk. I mean, she's like she's literally the best female lead character of like Marvel for a long time.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, so we'll just have to see But I'm not sad about it. Like I said, if they decide that they don't want to do Defenders on Disney Plus, because Iron Fist didn't work and they're just not going to do any of those series, it still leaves room for them to create great things. I'm not sad about it.
I'm more. I guess I'm not saying 7. I'm not sad at the idea because well, the way they wrote season 3, everything's back to normal for Daredevil. So I guess if you end off that way, that'd be fine. But for the show like Luke Cage, like I don't think you want to end off on that note.
Well, it's Disney's choice to make, and unfortunately, we don't work for Disney.
Yeah.
We don't get to make those decisions.
Yeah, we're not Rob Eager who betrayed the shareholders. Calling for honor. I can't believe he let go Pixar. Oh God.
I know. Just that's another discussion for another day.
Yeah. Back on the ending. Well, transition to another ending, guys. Okay. Voltron season 8.
Woo. It's coming to a close. It is final battle for Earth against the Galra Empire.
Yep.
I've heard someone dies. A main character. Obviously, a bunch of people.
Let's go
die.
for it.
Yep. And the thing is, I saw like quote unquote spoilers. Like somebody leaked some screen caps, and a part of me is kind of cynical. And the reason why I think they leaked the screen caps, and Matt, I know you're not like a fan of this version of the show, like you haven't seen it yet.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it yet. My only thing I haven't seen it because I want to say is, as the time I keep getting interested in it, all the fans was like just like around season 4, the fans would dump on this show so hard like legit trash, and then my girlfriend Cassie, a lover, was like, the show's not that bad. Like, oh man, I can't now. Mm-hmm. I'll wait till everyone stops talking about it.
Oh man, yeah, it's not a bad plan. But so what? Okay, so if you don't want to hear the spoilers,
go ahead. I'm gonna forget about them anyway.
I know, but like for the people listening, Matt.
For the people.
Fast forward like a minute. I'll go through this very quickly. So basically, I think the reason they leaked these screen caps, if they are genuine, is because in season 7 they gave Shiro a boyfriend, because Shiro is gay. And then they're like, but we're not going to show them like in love or anything. They're going to have one argument where they don't even look at each other, and then that ex-boyfriend is going to die because we can say that he's gay, but we're not going to make him gay. So in the footage, you see Shiro's quote-unquote wedding, at least we think it's a wedding, to another man who is not any of the other main characters. It's like some unknown rando. And so there's that. But then in the background, you see a statue of Allura, the princess. And so the idea is that Shiro gets married and Allura is dead. And that's it for spoilers. If you're trying to figure out a good spot to come back, it's fine to come back now.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
The only thing I'm laughing about that is like take on spoilers is that the Shiro being gay and they don't show being gay reminds me of like not the shit on DC. It's like, yeah, Batwoman's gay, but you'll never see her with a girlfriend or anything or do anything romantic.
Nope. Can't show the gays, only tell the gays.
Yeah, you can hint they're gay or like say it, but they won't. So that's the way I felt about it. Like, oh, okay. Or in the case of like Midnighter, the Midnighter by like Steve Orlando, it's like Midnighter's gay. He's at a gay club, but not doing anything gay.
Yeah, or like Constantine, he's bi, but no dudes.
No dudes. Oh yeah, I totally forgot he was actually. I think you mentioned it a long time ago. He was bi. God.
Yeah, when I worked at Huffington Post, I wrote an article about it and got lots of hate mail for it. It was great. Great, I love it.
Totally forgot they never showed it, but he's right. I totally forgot he was actually bi.
Yep. I mean, and that's a bigger problem. But in terms of the final season of Voltron, I'm glad it's coming to an end. Because if this story goes on forever, like it'll just never finish. It'll just, because the fans will keep this shit alive. This is a very, very active fan base, and they will keep this thing alive if they can. So the fact that the two creators, Lauren and I want to say, damn it, Yeah,
I
who
was
I
gonna
mean.
guess. I was actually gonna guess like Matt Wagner, but that's not him.
No, it's one of the guys. It's neither Brian nor Mike, but one of the other big guys from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm so sorry. Robert? No, I'm thinking of something else. Either way, so the two creators were like, "No, we good. We're done. We're done. We're gonna end the story. We're gonna wrap it up with the big war finale, and that's gonna be the end because we're done." And I'm just like, "Yes, A plus, smart move."
Oh man, the fans will keep it alive. You're not killing my pairing. Like it's been 8 seasons. You're not killing my pairing.
To be fair, I have my ships. I won't share them because they are personal. Um, but that's what fanzines are for, and fan art and fan blogs. I don't need
No,
this
no.
show to give me
The
that.
worst about picturing is like them holding the creator, like holding the creator. You won't kill my ship. The show's over. You won't kill my ship.
Oh god, yeah, it's the misery scenario.
Exactly.
Tie them both to a bed and make them write the ending you want. Nobody do that. We are not endorsing. We are not endorsing that action.
No, please don't.
No.
For the
Uh,
love of everything right, don't do that.
no. But that
Yeah.
it's not all sad news.
No, it's not all sad news. No, I mean this is horrifying news. I mean horrifying. The chilling adventures of Sabrina. It's got TV, right?
Yep, the Netflix TV show is coming back for a second season, and if you think that's particularly fast, yeah, because they freaking aired season 1 at the very end of October. In November, we got news that there would be a Christmas special coming out this month, and now it's like, hey guys, did you miss us? Oh, what? We didn't give you time to miss us? Too bad. We're coming back in April with a second season.
Yeah. The thing I'm thinking about that too is like, how did he do it so quickly? And then I think as Sarah was pointed out to me before the podcast, I look into it. One of the creators of the original the comic was actually on broadcast of the show. So I'm like, that was spicy good.
Yep. I mean, and the thing is, and he's not just like on the show. No. Robert Aguirre Sacasa runs the Archie TV division and wrote Riverdale, which is the CW's Archie adaptation, and he wrote and is showrunner, I believe, on Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So, yeah, he has a lot to work with, but it really sucks because they never finished the comic run of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah.
Like, it's still on my pull list because I'm hoping that someday he'll decide to come back, but like, considering he's like a big head at Archie Comics, yeah, no, he's never coming back for that.
Yeah, rip the dream. And the crappy part about it is like, this is the thing about Archie comics, they never finish their ideas. I mean, we got Betty Veronica, even though it's done by Adam Hughes, never completed at the third issue, I think. Now we got Archie 1941, like why? Still going on.
Yep.
Like I think it's a one shot. I don't know if it's still going. I mean, all Archie innovative ideas, no matter how creative still look, they never really get completed.
Yep.
After like the entire run, I think Chilling Adventures of Sabrina came from was Afterlife with Archie, and I'm like, is that ever going to be done? Am I going to sit here and just suffer for this?
Yeah, I think the other two were Vampironica, Vampirica, something with Veronica and vampires, and then Jughead the Hunger, where Jughead is a zombie. And I don't know if either of those two finished. I was not as deeply embedded as I was with Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, because Chilling Adventures is really cool. It has sort of that old 60s aesthetic.
Yeah.
In its art, and I was like, this is fucking dope. And it's scary, and skulls, and murder. I dig it. And then they just, after I think issue 7 or 8, they just stopped.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking, because the comic and the show are actually a little different.
Yeah.
So, but hey, can't lead a horse to water, and you can't lead Roberto Aguirre Sasca to finish his goddamn comic books.
It's just like I said. It's like, and the thing is that it's like, yeah, we're mainstream now. We got good stuff. All the projects you got are not finished, so they're gonna have to go off venture. And then when you go off script, sometimes bad stuff happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first season of the show I really enjoyed. I know some people thought it was like a little tame, or they didn't like the visual style, which I'm just like, haters.
Haters gonna hate.
I love that 60s aesthetic. I don't even mind. But we will just have to see what season 2 brings. They were being sued by the Satanic Temple, not the Church of Satan. Those are actually two different organizations. In case you didn't know, your your churches of Satani.
Wait,
So
that was a real thing? I saw that on Newsweek and I thought it was actual trolling. That's not real.
no, it's real. They used a statue that was copyrighted, and it looks like they've settled out of court because said statue, I think, is still in the trailer.
Oh my god.
I mean, whatever, man. It's weird that you copyrighted a statue, but meh. Anyway, the Satanic Temple threw a little hissy fit. I guess Netflix went, here's a pile of money, shut up. And
Take the money.
Doesn't want that sweet Netflix money.
I mean, it's Netflix money, yeah. It just sounds funny because it's like, wait a second. Because when I saw the story on Newsweek, and actually it was a joke, because like, come on, you really gonna claim you own this, and then you telling me it's real? I'm like, wow, that happened.
Yep, they copyrighted that specific statue.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, haha.
We got you now, Netflix.
It's fine. They're clearly they're doing fine because season 2 is on its way.
Yeah, season 2 is happening. There's nothing to worry about. Everyone will survive.
Yep. For now.
For now.
Dun,
oh
dun,
man!
dun.
And before you go for now, we're gonna give you our recommendations for the month. My recommendations is to pick up two particular series if you haven't already. Read Thor by Jason Aaron. I particularly recommend Mighty Thor, because if you want, it's a Jane Foster Thor, how she comes in, and it's getting better. My only complaint of the series is that through, I want to say, between which is volume 3, which is like the 5th volume of the series, and the War Thor is the current volume that's out in trade paperback, is that they kind of feel like sidesteps away from this big War of the Realms, which she's leading up to, and I'm getting so juiced up about it's good. It just feels these are really solid, good stories with another perspective on Thor. And if you bought into the bad hype about, oh, it's female Thor, lol, what am I going to do? Like, dude, chill. It's still smashing other gods with other cool stuff. It's a solid book, artistically well done. Jason Aaron is on top of his form with this phenomenal fantasy series. If anything, the only weakness of the book is that Jane Foster isn't beating up more gods.
Boo. Smash, Jane Foster, smash.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, she says everything but those exact lines. If she said Jane Foster smash, I would like, okay, this book is 10 out of 10 now.
Exactly, it's perfect. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Like Jason says what you, and is leading, as you could tell over time, is leading towards Jane Foster. Spoiler: it's getting weaker and weaker as a person the more and more she uses the Mihor. So it's like, oh man, this being a god thing, it's actually costful to her mortality. And the War Thor, the current trade that's out, has a very, very nice story about Volstagg the Valiant, and it's heartbreaking what happens to him.
Oh no.
I'm not going to spoil it, recommend that. And the second book I'm going to recommend is the main series by Matt Wagner. Matt Wagner is, I want to say he's been around for so long, and he's finally, I want to give a shout out to Image and to himself, just putting the books into trade paperbacks, because he's written this over years. I know there's like only 5 trades currently out with the trilogy of a series, but he's been writing this for years. So he's been like 1 issue a year or 3 years on issues. He's doing it. And it's a solid series. It's well done, dealing with the pessimism of growing up being a hero, fighting mystical dragons in a realm of being real, getting married, and it just feels all organically authentic. Even reading it today, this is a somewhat 90s comic, it just feels good. And I definitely recommend for people to give it a try out because, it's an Image comic. You probably didn't read it in the 90s, or you probably skipped over it, but it's in trade now, and it's something definitely give it a shout out. Read it in order. Oh, by the way, they did number the volumes because over time, when Matt Wagner created the series, he renamed it. It was the hero. It was like, it was the hero to not. It was the hero discovered. Then it became the hero to find, and now the current last arc of this trilogy is known the hero denied. And thematically, because I finished the first 2 books, let's say arcs of it, they make sense. I can't argue why the hero denied theme makes sense yet, but it's still interesting, and I'm very, very excited to see what he goes on with this character, Kevin Matchstick, because he evolves into something. He comes to this, fuck magic, I don't believe it anymore, to, I don't want to be a hero. I mean, I'm a hero, I got a family, a wife and kids, I'm balding. What am I doing here?
Life crises.
Like crazies, yeah.
Ah, fun times. Well, for my recommendation, I am going to put out it's you can find it in one volume. It was a pretty short little run series. It's called The Cape. It's written by horror author and Stephen King's son, Joe Hill. Because if you'd been named Joe King, that would have been a terrible name.
Yo,
I mean,
King.
well, joking, like Joe King.
I know. Yeah, I know. Then out of nowhere, he would like, no, it's Yo King.
So it's written by Joe Hill. It's illustrated by Zach Howard, and it's adapted by Jason Sierramella. And it is just, if you've read any Joe Hill, and if you haven't, you really should, if you're into horror. But Joe Hill is really good at sort of writing the worst of people in the most believable way. Like, he is able to express the sort of awfulness of humanity in just the most easily relatable and also just horrifyingly heartbreaking way. And The Cape is really no exception. Basically, it's about a man named Eric who, at 8 years old, had a very bad accident falling out of a tree and hurting himself very badly. And he feels, well, he's sort of resentful. He's sort of like that guy from high school who never really did anything with his life, and he's super resentful towards everybody. It's no one else's fault but his own. But the twist is, when he was 8, he used to have a cape that would let him fly. Now, what happened to that cape after his accident, no one knows until he goes searching through the basement. And after that, it just evolves into a story of horror and I'm trying to think of the right word here, of horror and
Thriller?
No, privilege. And this idea that like the world owes you anything, and just what happens when you give power to the wrong kind of people. And it is an incredible read. It's very short. It's from IDW Publishing. It's if you're into horror like me and you don't get in the holiday spirit, because I'm really not a holiday person. I'm not religious or holiday oriented. I'm the worst. But if you need something a little darker to read to remind yourself that humanity is not all smiles and cheers and goodwill towards men, this is definitely a really, really engaging story, and one you're not soon likely to forget.
Yeah, especially for the holidays. Watching some angry, bitter dude have superpowers ruin my life because, hey man, you cut me at Taco Bell. What are you talking about?
Murder! I mean,
exactly. Like, you break my spine. I guess you'll case Cerrito anymore. I don't eat at Taco Bell. What do you? Oh, my bad. Whatever. You probably deserve it anyway.
Quesaritos are my favorite, though.
Quesaritos, yes, they are.
Good. Every time I talk to someone, they're like, chalupa. I'm like, get out of my face. Quesarito till I die.
I actually, because recently I started eating the Gordita Crunch. I love the Gordita Crunch now.
Greater.
Oh, look, they have their mini chicken rolls, which is pretty much taquitos. Okay.
Yeah, they are taquitos.
Yeah, they're pretty much. I love that stuff. It's pretty good. But that's pretty much how I roll. It's like, yeah, chalupas. I mean, that's what I feel about the I
don't know, quesaritos are just so cheesy and warm and good.
I mean, this is the quesarito. If they had spicier cheese in the quesarito, it'd be good.
See, that's what the hot sauce packets are for, buddy.
Yeah. Or you could just use real pepper jack cheese.
That's too expensive. That's too expensive for Taco Bell. Also, that's still not hot enough for me. I get the Diablo packets. When they came out with the Diablo sauce, I was like, yep, perfect, because hot is mild as fuck for me.
Diablo sauce. Every time I think of Diablo sauce, like, Diablo sauce, is this what they consider hot? This is acceptable.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, makes my nose run a little. That's nice.
I'm like, yeah, it's like, for me, it's like, oh, hey, I think, I felt a bit of a burn in the back of my mouth. This is fine. It's acceptable.
Yep. The first time it came out, the person was like, oh, this is really hot. Like, are you sure you don't want to just get, like, the regular hot? I'm like, nope, please just hand me some packets. And I went through all of them eating my quesarito. I'm like, this is great. Like, now it's, like, really nice and it has, like, flavor.
That's one of the cases it's a good time to be born as someone who eats ethnic food. It's like, this is okay. Come on, you know what real pain is.
Oh man. But anyway, we've gone way off topic. I guess we're also recommending Taco Bell menu items now.
Yeah, Yeah, if you haven't already, try the 4, if they still have it, the 4 chicken rolls. It's taquitos. Try the taquitos. Okay, they're pretty okay for $4. It's not a bad deal.
But yes,
Yeah.
quesarito till we die.
Quesarito. Yo, they need to put pepper jack cheese in. That's all they gotta do, and I will love it more.
All right. Well.
All right. That'll be us for this time. We'll see you guys later on, and please sure to follow us on all social media and share your podcast with our friends and family so they can hear us rap about our fast food recommendations.
Exactly.
Oh, and fuck Bill Maher, seriously.
And fuck Bill Maher. And also keep an eye out because we will be coming to your favorite podcaster near you. That's iTunes, Google Play, probably not Stitcher because Stitcher is annoying, but everywhere else where you can find podcasts, you're soon to find War on Infinite Panels.
Yes.
So
and they'll get to see, and they'll hear our amazing voice talk about things that are really important,
things
like Voltron season 9.
Dun dun dun.
See you guys.